around 86. Overnight, mostly clear, low around 65. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a small chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high around 88. And then Saturday, a 40% chance of rain and storms, high around 86. But again today, enjoy the sunshine, high around 86.
Let me ask you a question. What do you see when you look at your car? Do you just see taillights or your dog's tail wagging when you first brought them home? Do you see 4 tires or 2 tired kids in the back seat after their first day of school? Other insurance companies just see a car, but a State Farm agent sees what your car really means to you. So why not give it the protection it deserves? See State Farm agent Barkley Hudson in Princeton today.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
This is Beth Scheidler with Community Medical Clinic. We are excited to announce that as of June 1st, we are resuming our normal office hours of 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. If you need to be seen, please call our office to schedule your in-person or telehealth appointment. We are taking all necessary precautions to protect our patients and our staff during this trying time. Currently, we are not accepting walk-ins as our waiting rooms are closed. For more information and updates, you can follow us on Facebook or visit our website at communitymedicalclinic.org. Community Medical Clinic has 3 offices to serve you, located in Princeton, Hopkinsville, and Oak Grove.
Our team at Farmers Bank is committed to doing our part to protect against the potential spread of COVID-19. So effective Thursday, March 19th until further notice, we are operating on a drive-through only format. Our drive-thrus at all 3 of our locations will be open for normal hours. If your needs cannot be met through either our drive-thrus, internet banking, mobile app, or by phone, please give us a call to set up an appointment. We want to thank you for being a customer of Farmers Bank and appreciate your patience and support during these times. This is Jeff McDaniels of Farmers Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC.
Out of an abundance of caution and in your best interest, public access to the Princeton Electric Plant Board office is restricted. Normal business operations will continue utilizing the drive-through window. Bill payments using online methods, bank drafts, and credit cards are encouraged, but checks and cash will continue to be accepted methods of payment. Utilizing the free online payment system from the comfort of your own home is both safer and more efficient for you. You will only need your account number, which is located on your bill, and a credit card or debit card to use this convenient feature. In an effort to help our community and assist our neighbors during this time of uncertainty, Princeton Electric Plant Board invites customers to call the office if they need additional time to pay their electric bill due to the loss of work. We appreciate our customers and look forward to working through this together.
It's time to vote for your favorites in the YourSportsEdge.com Fan Faves, presented by First Financial Bank. Go to YourSportsEdge.com to cast your vote today in over 20 categories. Hurry, voting ends July 12th.
Hi, I'm Dale.
Hi, I'm Pam with Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique, and we are proud to support the greatest comeback of all time.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. Thanks for joining us this morning. Todd Griffin in the WPKY studios, and joined first of all today by Caldwell County football head coach Will Barnes, who is taking time from practice to stop into the studio today. Will, thanks for coming by, and how's practice going?
Good. You know, this is we've been going 3 days a week, so finished up for this week this morning, and got one more session starting at 9:30. So it's been a good week.
Also joining us on the show today is Chris George from Bowling Green. Chris is on the phone with us this morning. Chris, how are things where you are?
Sunshiny and nice this morning. A beautiful Kentucky morning.
Excellent.
Glad to be on the show with you and Coach Barnes, Todd.
Yeah, we're getting to talk some football, and Coach Barnes, I guess the big question to start the show, are we going to have football this fall?
I sure hope so. I don't think anybody really knows for sure. I think the KHSAA will do everything they can to make it work, and if it, hopefully, we can figure something out where we can play some games this fall.
Hey, Chris, what are you hearing about fall sports coming up?
Like Coach said, right now KHSAA is not saying very much. We, as officials, we haven't heard anything except they wanted us to renew our license for 2021. And that was about the only communications we got out of the officials division. But I believe they're going to do everything they can to let the boys and girls play, just because these kids have been through so much. The spring sports kids lost everything, and I just don't know that they can take much more if you continue to take their extracurriculars away from them.
Talking this morning with Will Barnes and Chris George. Need to get to a break here on the show, but back with more after this here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Are you looking for a great job with great pay and excellent benefits? Continental Mills, makers of Krusty's brand baking mixes, is hiring. They have immediate openings for full-time packaging support positions. Positions are for night shift crews, which includes a comprehensive benefits package. Be on your way to a better job today and apply online at continentalmills.com.
The Body Shop at Trice Hughes is open for business and will assist you in getting your vehicle back on the road. Trice knows your vehicle is one of the most important things you own. It's important it's fixed right and as quickly as possible. Call for an appointment or free estimate at 270-365-5522.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
Confusion, memory loss, dementia, lonely, disease, mother, father, wife, husband, grandparent.
When someone you love has Alzheimer's, it changes their world and yours. At Morningside of Paducah's Bridge to Rediscovery, they know how overwhelming it can be. Instead of being defined by their disease, the residents are celebrated for who they are. The residents enjoy the feeling of home in a specially designed setting that provides the support and security they need. Morningside of Paducah's Bridge to Rediscovery. Memory care reimagined.
The Joint in Eddyville is excited to introduce Park and Pig Out. Customers can pull into a parking space and eat at a picnic table to the right of their vehicle. There are many options to enjoy your favorite barbecue now at The Joint. Dine in, park and pig out, the patio, and carry out. Call ahead, ordering's recommended. For more information, visit their website, thejointbbqwky.com. That's thejointbbqwky.com. They look forward to seeing you soon to Park and Pig Out.
Are you ready for a date night? Enter to win a $50 gift card in our date night dinner giveaway. You could win a gift card to the Mixer, Harper House, Majestic House, Adam Breezy Hill Farm and Restaurant, and Da Vinci at Novadell. Head over to WPKYonline.com to enter the date night dinners giveaway. Contest ends June 30th.
Hot days are coming, and some in our communities need help to stay cool. You can assist when you support PACS, as they find those in need in 9 surrounding counties and provide them with fans to stay cool. Find out more at WPKYonline.com.
Back on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Chris George is with us. Also, Will Barnes, Caldwell County Tiger football coach. And, Coach, you mentioned conditioning drills going on. Exactly how much work can you guys get in right now? Because several limitations on what you can do in practice right now.
Yeah, it's very limited, equipment use. You can't use a ball right now, so... which, isn't necessarily a bad thing right now if, because we've operated under the premise that, these kids haven't done a whole lot, the last 2 or 3 months. So we've just kind of used these first 2 weeks to kind of get them acclimated into it. It's not... we're not out there trying to, run a bunch or anything like that. Just kind of ease them back into shape and ease them back into, kind of our routine and introducing them to, all the precautions and the things we've got to do before we can start to work out. So when we can, hopefully do a little bit more football-related activities. It's an easy transition.
Talk about some of the precautions you have to take and some of the steps you have to take just to be able to have conditioning drills.
So we've got about 50 guys that are coming out to workouts right now. So you've got to have groups of less than 10. So we've got groups of about 8. And with one coach. So we have a session that starts at 7:30 and then a session that starts at 9:30, so we can keep those groups small and still get something done. And when they get there, they have to, I take their temperature and document that. And there's about a 7 or 8 question symptom questionnaire that they have to fill out every day. And then, we have them wash their hands. We've got hand sanitizer and, wipes to wipe everything down. And at the end of the day, we have to clean up after them, basically. So we're doing everything outside right now, so there's not, we wipe down sinks and things like that. There's not a ton of cleanup afterwards other than that.
From a sports standpoint, is it a little frustrating, though, because you guys expected to have a pretty good team coming back, some younger kids coming in. You didn't lose a whole lot from last year. I mean, those seniors were big, but numbers-wise, it was kind of a small senior class. So maybe some anxious moments wanting to get out there and get going for this season, but then you can't really do what you want to do.
Well, with the guys we've got coming back that are experienced, I think that helps us where, we should, whenever we can start, we should hit the ground running because those guys played last year, and we're going to schematically is going to be very similar. So, that I think that'll help us. And I thought, initially not being able to do some of that stuff with the younger guys might hurt, but really I think we've been able to spend a little bit more one-on-one time with them and that we typically wouldn't be able to do. So I think that's honestly been good for our younger kids.
Chris, what are you hearing as far as some of the colleges getting going? I know you're UK season ticket holder. What's going on with the Cats?
They've the Toppers have brought back I think all of the Toppers are back on the hill now. They brought them back in 2 phases. I know D. Kane and Mitchell Harrelson were in the first phase, the first 65. They got to report back the 1st of June. I'm not sure which group Oliver Parker was in. I don't know if he was in the first group or the second group, but they're all back. And as far as keeping up with UK, I think they've actually got all of theirs on campus as of last week from what I've been seeing on Twitter. So, I'm really excited for the Toppers and the Cats. I think both are set up for big years, and I just hope I get to go to some games. I hope I'm not watching all of them on TV because I could really see a situation where I know for when I renewed my Western season tickets, we asked the ticket office a lot of questions, and they didn't have a lot of answers. Said it could be 25% fans, could be 50% fans. So I just really don't know. Coach Barnes, what about fans for the high school games? Have you all begun to put anything in place or have any ideas about how that might work? Will it?
No. I actually talked to Miss Farmer earlier this week, and I think we're just kind of waiting on guidance from the state on that. And I think she was on a webinar maybe earlier this week about doing online ticket sales. So I think it's just kind of in a wait and see period here, and then when some more guidelines come out, adapting our situation to fit those guidelines.
I just can't imagine playing a football game with no fans.
Yeah, I don't know how realistic that is for us to not play without fans. I don't know.
Well, from a financial standpoint for you guys, you talk about the Kentucky Wildcats. Well, UK could play without fans because they're getting, millions and millions of dollars from the Southeastern Conference television contract. Western Kentucky doesn't quite get that kind of money. And on the high school level, if you guys don't have fans in the stands, that's a lot of your funding, not just for football, but the entire athletic budget.
Right. That's kind of why I would be surprised if that came down, just because of that. And it's just a big part of high school. High school sports is having those fans and having the parents there. So I don't know that that's very realistic.
Well, what I've seen from the KHSAA, Commissioner Tackett seems to keep saying it's either it's going to be open or it's not going to be open. There's not going to be any 25% or 50% for high school, that either you're going to be able to have fans or you won't be able to have fans.
Right. So, he gets a lot of flack for a lot of different things, but I think they've done a really good job handling this situation and putting out things and communicating with us. I know some other states, haven't had that communication. So, I think he's done a really good job of setting something that's realistic for all of our districts and all of our teams. And, I think the KHSAA has handled that really well.
Well, I think you have to be really, really flexible at this time. We've talked about that with the youth leagues, that you can get those going, but they're not going to be exactly like they've been in the past. And I think we're looking at the same thing for fall sports, that hopefully we'll get to have fall sports, but it's probably going to look different than it has in the past.
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's going to be a very unique year, and the thing, you just got to adapt to it, and whatever they say we can do to play, we've got to follow it, because we all want to play.
And one scenario, go ahead, Chris.
Caldwell's in a unique situation in that our stadium is robust enough that you kind of can socially distance a little bit. I think the administration will have some options if they come out with guidelines about socially distancing at the stadium, because we've got a lot of real estate right around the stadium that, you could put some people on the track, you could put some people in the stands. Our visitor side is, compared to some of the places we travel to see the Tigers, our visitor side is pretty big. So I think, there could be some opportunities of putting people in lawn chairs down the sides. And, if it comes to that, I think Caldwell will be in a better situation than some of our surrounding counties whose stadiums just quite honestly aren't quite as nice as ours.
Well, you could certainly put people up on the hill,
I'm going PC, Todd. I'm not going to say what I say in the car.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I think so. I agree with you, Chris. I think, we've got, a lot of room, and obviously our home side's, pretty good size. So, I think we'd be able to spread them out, good enough.
Well, that's something people talk about when they come here usually, is how nice the facilities are, especially, once the field house was put over there and you've got concessions and restrooms on that side, and you have, nice locker rooms now, and the big Tiger up on the school, it's all, pretty imposing.
Yeah, we've got a great facility, and, our playing surface, the fields are great. Will Brown does a good job with that, and Coach Stallin's mowing. We've got a good surface too, which is all really the most important thing. And we're really fortunate to have all those things.
Need to get to another break here on the show, but we'll be back with more with Chris George and Will Barnes right after this here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Penny Rowell Home Medical.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast: sunshine and hot conditions today. We're going to see a high around 86, then overnight mostly clear, low around 65. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a small chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high around 88. And then Saturday, a 40% chance of some showers and thunderstorms, otherwise partly sunny, high around 86. But again today, sunny sky, high around 86.
Your local McDonald's wants you to know that they're ready to serve you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They've always had their drive-thru, and now they're offering curbside pickup service as well. To avoid the wait in the drive-thru, you can download the McDonald's app and try curbside pickup. They appreciate your patience and understanding during this time. We are all having to adjust to this new way of life. It's temporary, but in the meantime, enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at your local McDonald's.
When someone walks in the door of our funeral home, we understand they're facing some very difficult times in their life. I want people to know that in addition to being a funeral director, I'm a person just like they are. I've sat on the other side of that table making arrangements for my father. I remember that day. Hi, I'm Jonathan Goodman from Goodman Funeral Home. I think you'll find our prices to be very competitive. Be assured that quality and respect are always guaranteed. Give us a call today at 365-3838.
This is my favorite week of the year. Why? It's the first week of summer, the longest days of the year. Hi, it's Jenny from Big Deals. Let's celebrate with a sale. Shop your local Big Deals store today, and you'll save an additional 10% off your entire purchase. No promo code needed. Celebrate summer with extra savings from Big Deals.
Click on Loyal Listener Big Deals at WPKYOnline.com.
The Sideline Report continues here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining in this morning. Caldwell County football coach Will Barnes is here. Chris George is on the phone with us from Bowling Green. And, one of the things I want to ask, we've heard some weird things as far as trying to get sports played, high school sports, and even have heard thrown out there that they might flip the fall sports season and the spring sports season and play baseball and softball in the fall and maybe football in the spring. Have you guys heard anything more about that? Chris?
Well, I know Gary keeps talking to us about it in our group text, Todd. As a baseball official, I can't wrap my head around playing baseball in the fall and football in the spring. Because the weather, I don't know. You're going to have depending on when you attempted to play football in the spring, it's just too much going on with basketball. You're going to lose a lot. As I said to Gary in our group text, Todd, first off, it's a big thing now of high school seniors graduating early to go to their college destination and get an extra spring practice in. Do those, you lose those players. Do you try to start in early March after the basketball tournament? I don't know, and it just takes more for me, and I'll be interested to hear Coach Barnes' take on this, but to me, you need a few extra weeks to get ready to go for football, whereas baseball, you can start February 15th and be ready to go in a month. For me, I just feel like football, you need about 6 weeks to kind of get ready to go, whereas baseball, you kind of go. You just kind of go. I mean, I'm a baseball, softball guy, but, in 4 weeks, you can kind of be ready to go. So I don't know. That just doesn't work for me. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be challenging. There's a lot of things that kind of I think about. If you're going to play in the spring or you're going to turn back around and play in the fall, I think, with the contact aspect, I think that would be something that, I don't know if they would limit the games in the spring to try to, limit, that aspect of it. It would be definitely unique, but if that's, I think Julian said that was the doomsday plan, maybe. So if that's the absolute last resort, I think we would make it work, however we had to do it.
Would rather do that than not have a season.
Right.
Yeah, we've already missed baseball, softball, the whole spring sports season. I'd hate to have to give up another one, but just looking ahead to this fall, though, do you anticipate maybe some kind of limitations on the season that maybe we won't get to play the scrimmages, or maybe the first couple of weeks we have to eat off the schedule just to try to get things in?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, if we get a late start, whatever that may be. There's all kinds of things that have been talked about, but I don't think anybody really has a good idea of what's going to happen. But I could see that being an option for sure.
Because you guys were supposed to play some 7-on-7s, right?
Yeah. I don't think 7-on-7 will happen this summer. I think if we did start late, I think they would give us a scrimmage and then start, whenever they said, just to kind of, have that transition from having practice to a scrimmage to a game. I think they would let us do that.
Yeah, Chris, do you have another comment?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was listening last week when you had Scott on, and he was talking about what they were doing with the Mid-South Conference and playing some home and homes. My head, like I text you, my head would explode if we had to play Crittenden or Trigg twice in the same year. It's tough enough to play them once, and I'm in a bad enough mood for 2 weeks. That's a whole month I'm in a bad mood. So I just couldn't do it.
Well, we did play Trigg twice one year, played them during the regular season, and then met them again in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I know, and I was in a bad mood twice. I'd get stirred up when we played Crittenden and Trigg.
Caldwell County, the Tigers, though, have had some success recently against both teams, and historically the Trigg series is a little closer than the Crittenden series, but what really stands out to me is Crittenden County's had some really, really good football teams over the last 9 or 10 years, and, Will, you guys have been able to get them most of the time.
Yeah, they do a really good job. Coach Thompson and Coach Starnes before them, I don't think they get enough credit for how good of a program they run. They're a really good team and a really good program, and you just look at it. They've had a good run here the last 6, 7, 8 years, and that's a testament to their coaching staff. And they're going to have another really good team this year, I think.
I think football, though, is a difficult sport when you try to play the same team multiple times. That's why I don't like the change in the playoffs where you're playing your own district as opposed to the neighboring district. It just seems like it's an awfully tough task to beat somebody once during the regular season and then be asked to beat them again in the playoffs.
Yeah, it seems, to bite us quite a bit. But I like playing the cross district. Just it's somebody different that you don't typically play, and I would much rather do that. And if you look at our district, I mean. Danville and Lexington Christian might disagree, but we've probably got the toughest district. It's either us or them. They've got Danville, Lexington Christian, and Somerset, and we've got us, Mayfield, and Murray. So we play in one of the toughest districts in 2A for sure.
Yeah, the playoffs. I'm not really sure why they went. I guess it's a travel thing, trying to limit travel, but. To me, it just seemed more like the playoffs when you had that team coming in, or when you had to go on the road someplace. It was kind of an event to make that trip.
Yeah, I think so too. I liked it, but that's not how it is. So we play the cards we're dealt, and I think it'll be like that for at least a couple more years.
Somebody brought up Tompkinsville to me the other day. What's that, Chris?
It was flawed. There was a guy on Twitter that actually tracked what was going on, and after week 2, teams were traveling further than they did the year before.
Yeah, then you get into the RPI, and that's how the games are mixed up. Yeah,
right, and teams were traveling further than they were the year before. So it was a flawed system, and to me, it was probably meant to save money for some of the smaller schools, but probably in reality, it really didn't. And I just really believe it impacts. I would rather see a strong week 3 game than a weak 3 game. And it's supposed to. The competition is supposed to get better the deeper you go into the playoffs. And I mean, for Caldwell having to play Murray and then potentially having to play Mayfield, we're going to have strong games all the way through. But some of those districts, that's not the case. And I would. How much I ranted about this last year. I would just much rather see play the cross district because that's fun. It's an event, and forever who we're playing, that's a good thing because Caldwell's going to take half the town with them.
Well, I was going to mention that somebody asked me the other day if I knew where Tompkinsville was, and I was like, yes, I've been there because we played a football game there in the playoffs. Monroe County.
Yeah, I've been to Monroe County quite a bit. That's an interesting place to play.
It's an interesting place to go.
You're right. They got good barbecue, though.
Absolutely. Francis Barbecue under the hill, yes.
Yeah, they got good barbecue.
The one time we went to Monroe County, Caldwell County stopped a 2-point conversion attempt on literally the final play of the game, and the final score was, what, Chris, 22-21 or 21-20, one of those? And
something like that.
Yeah, heck of a ball game, but it's a long way to go for...
It is.
I got to give the KHSA some credit on that because that was a long trip, but it was fun, you know. I mean, I think when you look back over the last few years, the trip we took up to Greene County that one year, that was a lot of fun with Elijah Sindelar and that crew. Everybody got to hit Campbellsville's druthers and then make it to the ball game, and big old crowd at both of those places.
Yeah.
I don't know, Coach Barnes, maybe, you know, scheduling requests. We would love to get Greene County back on the schedule for Silver Brothers.
Well,
I'm just saying.
You know, that was a district game in Glasgow, and I didn't want to make that drive from Glasgow. I can't imagine, you know, what it is from here.
Druthers is worth it, though.
I've never had druthers, so I can't say.
Last one's in Campbellsville. So. We need to get to another break here on the show, but we'll be back with Chris George and Will Barnes right after this on the Sideline Report on WPKY.
Does your fur baby need a bath, trim, or summer cleanup? Pet Grooming by David Rogers is in full swing of pampering your fur baby. Voted best groomer and boarding facility in Western Kentucky. Remember, big or small, they love them all.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Dry conditions today, but there's a chance of showers in the forecast for tomorrow, and we'll see a chance of some rain and thunderstorms throughout the weekend. Today, though, sunny sky, high around 86. Overnight, mostly clear, low around 65. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a small chance of some afternoon showers and thunderstorms, high around 88. And then Saturday, a 40% chance of rain and storms, high around 86. But again today, enjoy the sunshine, high around 86.
Need cash fast? ABC Finance is open with social distancing implementations in place. They believe it's more important now than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind. We celebrate with you when your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance Company. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
To view social distancing guidelines and safety measures, like and follow ABC Finance Company on Facebook. ABC Finance is located off Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville next to O'Charlie's, then Princeton and the Princeton Plaza. Apply for loans online or simply give them a call. They'll take your application over the phone. ABC Finance, all loans subject to normal credit approval.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Thanks for joining us. Chris George and Will Barnes with us today. And, Coach, you just mentioned some good news. The Derby is going to have some fans.
Yeah, I think the governor maybe just released some guidelines to be able to allow them to have fans. And I know he approved the soccer team in Louisville to have fans as well. So I think those are two positive signs, you know, going forward for us too.
Yeah, we're hoping to have football and all this fall sports going on. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the quicker the better. But changing directions just a little bit here, talking about baseball. Major League Baseball finally got around to deciding it wanted to have a season. And, you know, Chris is a big baseball fan. I'm a big baseball fan. Will, I know you played baseball in high school. People might have forgotten that because everybody thinks about football. But what's your kind of thoughts on maybe a 60-game schedule for Major League Baseball?
Well, I think that, I'm glad they're playing, you know, because I'll follow it, and it'll be something on TV that I like to watch. So I'm glad they're doing something.
Hey, Chris, what are your thoughts?
I mean, you know, baseball. I love baseball, but Major League Baseball just can't get out of its own way. They had a unique opportunity to be the first ones back and have people who normally don't watch baseball watch. You know, there's nothing on TV to watch. And a bunch of millionaire and billionaire babies argued over how much they were going to get paid. And now you're starting right along with basketball and everybody else. And they could have been playing by now. And they just didn't. And I had, did my homework because you told me we were going to talk about it. I looked at their plan. I like parts of it. I like the trickle down of the roster, starting down with 30, going 2 weeks down to 28. A month in, you got to be down to 26. I like that. That's something they should probably keep. Long term, help save the arms, especially in a normal year when you're out there in early April and it's still kind of cold in some places. But just overall, baseball, just you wonder why the casual fan doesn't want to watch, because you can't get out of your own way.
Well, what are your thoughts, though, on designated hitter in the National League, for instance?
I'm 50-50 on it. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's going to speed up the game or anything. A pitcher is going to be a pitcher, and no matter what you try to do to them, they're not going to throw the ball till they're ready. And to me, as a purist of the game, I don't like it, because that was the difference in the National League and the American League. I'll probably come around to it like I came around on interleague play, because at first I didn't like interleague play.
Well, and another big rule change, at least for the regular season, is basically the international tiebreaker in extra innings. So when you go to the 10th, you now have a guy put at second base to start the inning.
Well, like Coach Barnes, who's played a lot of ball, and I'm pretty sure played some travel ball and at some point in his baseball career, the international tiebreaker is not going to speed anything up. If anything, it's going to slow stuff down.
Yeah, I agree. I hated that. I hated doing that. Hated it.
Me, as an official, I hate it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't speed anything up.
Well, they're trying to get somebody to score. Was it the World Baseball Classic a couple of years ago that they did the tiebreaker thing in the 10th inning? No, the 11th inning. I think you played the 10th straight up, and then they went in the 11th inning. But they put runners at first and second base to start the inning. So to me, that brought a little more strategy in. It's all too gimmicky for me. I kind of like just playing baseball and being done with it. But
yeah.
I kind of I'd rather have two people on base than one. To me, that seems like it's a little more strategy, and it probably ensures that somebody scores, quicker rather than later.
Right.
Well, with any watch enough travel ball at any age, they all use international tiebreaker. What's going to happen? You're going to intentionally walk the first batter up to set up the double play. It's going to happen 9 out of 10 times, and with no pitcher batting, you're not even going to be able to have something in the 9 slot that the pitcher, quote unquote, a free out. But you're going to intentionally walk the first batter, get set up the double play. Hopefully, you get the ground ball, you get the double play, you get out of the inning. If they're using the true international tiebreaker, it's a runner on second, but start with 1 out. Correct?
Yes. No, nobody out. You just start with a runner at second.
Oh, okay. So it's not the true international tiebreaker then. So that's what you're going to do.
But to me, if you want to speed the game up, well, just put a time limit on it. Say 3 hours. You talk about travel ball. All those games just about have time limits on it. So I don't like messing with it though. I'm kind of a purist, and I don't really like the DH, and I don't like them messing with the game. Let's find a rule book from the 1940s and go by those rules. Then I'll be happy. Nobody else will be. But I think, baseball is the one game that hasn't changed over the years. It's still basically the same game that when the 27 Yankees or the 29 A's, the best teams there ever were, it's still the same rules basically as when those guys were playing until Commissioner Manfred and the owners tried to start messing with it. Chris?
I love baseball, but I get so frustrated with baseball because there's a whole lot of things I would do radically to change things. Like I would ban the shift.
Now, why do you want to do that for? They were using the shift back in the 20s, the 1920s. It's not like it just started happening in the last few years.
I'm sure in 1920, half the team wasn't on the other side of second base, and you had one person on the left side, on the left side of second base.
Oh, yeah, they used to use all kinds of crazy things.
No.
They'd play three people over there for Ted Williams.
3, not 8.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Chris George and Will Barnes with us today. And Coach Barnes, getting back to football just a little bit. If we have a season, and we all hope we do, what are kind of your hopes for the upcoming year?
We've got some guys coming back, so I'm sure there'll be some expectations out there, but, expectations don't really mean anything. It's about, what we're going to do from now until whenever we can, start playing, what we're going to do to get better, because, we've got a lot of areas where we need to improve. And, you look at last year, we lost a lot of production on both sides of the ball. Even though, we didn't have a whole lot of seniors, the few that we had were big parts of it. So we've got some big holes to fill from those spots.
You guys had a great year last year, I thought, going 8-3, and the 3 losses were all to ranked teams. Seemed like offensively, at least last year, you went with a little different game plan. I think that's probably the most you guys have run the football in a long time. Yeah,
we had De'Eric coming back, and Travion Samuel, and Russ is a good runner, and with him, being a first-year quarterback, we really wanted to lean on De'Eric and kind of rely on him, because obviously he was really talented. And the thing that a lot of people don't talk about is our offensive line. A lot of those guys were new last year, and played about it since I've been calling plays. That was the best offensive line play we've had, and we've got all but one of those guys back, and a couple guys that started a few games for a few different reasons that are back too. So I think we'll continue to run the football, and it may just it might not be the running back running one guy running it a bunch. We've probably got 4 or 5 guys that'll be back there running the ball.
Well, would you prefer to run the ball more, or is that just kind of because of the personnel, or because a lot of what you guys do with some of the screens that's kind of basically a long handoff anyway?
Yeah, I want to do whatever helps us win. So if that means we got to run it 50 times, that's what we'll do. And if that means we got to throw it 50 times, that's what we'll do. But, ideally you'd want to, be pretty balanced and be able to run it when you want to run it and be able to throw it when you want to throw it. If you look at championship teams, they can do both whenever they need to. So we've got to be able to do both. And, I think we'll be able to throw the ball a little bit better. It just seems like that second year with the quarterback is when things start to click a little more. And, Russ had a really good year, and I think he'll have an even better year this year.
That was a David Barnes answer to that question, by the way.
I've probably heard it a time or two.
Very diplomatic. Yeah. I was like, wow, you answered that well.
Yeah, I'd heard that one before, and it's right there with, would you want to play high-scoring games or low-scoring games? And it's like, as long as we have one more, it doesn't matter if it's 7-6 or 77-70. Right. As long as you win, that's the object. So I just thought that was a very David Barnes answer.
Yeah, I've probably heard it a time or two.
Coach Barnes, how are the numbers looking for the people listening? I mean, do we have a big group? Are we pretty balanced across the 4 classes? I know Todd and Gary have got me very excited for this freshman class. They've been telling me how great they're going to be and how good, we got some really good players coming in that bunch. So I'm excited to see some of those guys. But what are our numbers looking like?
We're at about 45 to 50, just kind of depending on the day. We've got a couple of guys playing, travel baseball, and guys that are working. And right now it's not mandatory, so we kind of fluctuate on numbers. And I don't have when we get closer to July, middle of July, end of July, I'll have a better number of class by class breakdown. But we're excited about the freshman class and get some more of those guys out there. We have a few of them out now, and we need to get a few more out there. And they had a really good middle school season, and there's some guys in there that I think could probably help us out on Friday nights.
Well, I appreciate you guys both being on the show today. Chris, anything else you want to get in here before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, no pressure, Coach, but I've already got our good friend Les Forsyth. I've already told him first night, you got to go to Princeton with me to see the Tigers. So he's already said whatever first night is, he's coming. So no pressure.
Oh, that's great. I'd love to see Les down here. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it all works out. I hope we get to have our scrimmages and games start on time. Most of all, I just want sports to get back to somewhat normal. Just anything close at this point would be great.
Yeah, whatever we got to do to play is what we want to do, and because like you said, we all want to get back out there and play games.
Chris, anything else?
Now, enjoyed being on with you guys this morning, and like you said, I'm just ready for some sports. I'm tired of watching NBA games from 6 or 7 years ago, or baseball games from 6 or 7 years ago. And the Korean Baseball League is great, but it's not quite the same.
All right, Chris, I appreciate it. Will, thanks for coming in.
All right, man.
Thanks for
having me. Good to talk
me.
to you guys.
That's Chris George and Will Barnes, and that's going to wrap up the Sideline Report today. This is Todd Griffin. Thanks for listening here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Celebrating 70 years of community service. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
The Home Depot is cooking up new ways to start summer here and bring summer home. From online ordering to free delivery and convenient store pickup, we're helping make sure taking care of your summer projects is a breeze. And summer savings on all your favorite brands make things even easier. So freshen up the deck, fire up the grill. Summer's here, and it's as close as your own backyard. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
I'm Chris Foster. A vote scheduled today on the House Democrat-written police reform bill.
It includes language limiting qualified immunity, making it easier to sue police officers in civil court. The Democrat